But Uptown has changed a lot. Once, a lot of us remember when we were younger, it was sort of the counterculture headquarters. It was the place you went to feel cool. It's where you went when you turned 21 to go to Chino Latino if you lived in the suburbs. But over recent years, it certainly became a headquarters for like an Apple store and a Victoria's Secret. And today, after the murder of George Floyd and then riots that led into Uptown, a lot of destruction. Today, when you go through parts of Uptown anyway, it feels very much like a place that was left behind, maybe by leaders, maybe by landlords. You can look at it from a bunch of different perspectives. But one thing hasn't changed, and it is a killer neighborhood. Unbelievable residential population. You're so close to the lakes. You're so close to the Greenway. You're right by downtown. It's got to be one of the best neighborhoods. I don't want to exaggerate. I think it's one of the best neighborhoods in the country. But it lets people feel safe. You got a problem. And Kevin Norman is joining us live via video link up. You can check us out on YouTube, on X, and on Facebook. And Kevin lives in Uptown and has launched a plan to try to make things better for everybody. Kevin, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Jason. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you as well. Tell us what your idea is.
Yeah, so I mean, that was a great summary, and that's my experience. I spent a lot of my years in a lot of my 20s living and working in Minneapolis and spending time in Uptown, going to Chino Latino. I had my wedding reception at the Suburban World, which is now the Granada. And yeah, I actually moved out to the Bay Area for about 10 years and just moved back about 3 years ago. And not that I expected Uptown to be the same. I know that Uptown's taken some lumps, just like you said. But I was disheartened, and just knowing how incredible Uptown can be, just seeing it transform so much, it just hit me. And so I mean, we've, like you said too, like we've seen the power of the collective recently, that I'm so inspired that if we get a lot of people together that share our feelings about Uptown, we can, cliche, be the change we want to see in the world today, instead of just waiting around for somebody to save us, waiting around for the right political leaders or the right policies. We just know that if we can channel this energy that people have for Uptown, Uptown's been here before. It's come back before. It can come back again.
Twin Cities Business wrote about this today, and that's what piqued my interest. And the headline says, New Uptown Initiative is simple. Walk around and buy tacos. It's maybe a little more complicated than this, but it is something that you've called Uptown United, and it started with a letter you wrote. Tell us about the letter.
Yeah, that's right. So my wife and I live, just like a few blocks from kind of the main corridors, Hennepin and Lindale. And one day my wife went out on a walk, came home, and she's like, Kevin, I have never seen Hennepin look so bad. And I said, you should write a letter. And then I kind of thought for a second, I'm like, I should just write a letter. So I wrote a letter. The subject was boycott Hennepin, which I knew would catch people's attention. And the premise of the letter was, people are boycotting Hennepin. This is, of course, we're not arranging a boycott. It's happening. There's a perception that Uptown is not safe right now. I personally don't feel unsafe. I think that there's some challenges with unhoused people, open drug use, different than violent crime. So like personally, I don't feel unsafe in Uptown, but there's that perception. So we need to change that perception. So the idea with Uptown United started out as a letter writing campaign, which is still a letter writing campaign. So write some letters with us, if you will, uptownunitedmpls.org. And we're also starting an Uptown Ambassador program, which is about getting that energy back on the streets. It's going to be community walks. We're starting next weekend, Friday nights and Saturday nights. We're going to get a whole bunch of people out, just walking around Uptown, being a positive presence, being that energy, buying tacos, buying food, buying drinks, supporting our local businesses. And we know that positive presence will make an impact. The kind of illegal activity that we don't want in Uptown won't happen as much. People don't like doing illegal activity when there's a lot of people around. So that's It's a very simple premise. Kind of like in that article, it said it should be the easiest volunteering job you ever have. Just going out, walking around Uptown, eating food, being a positive presence, meeting your neighbors.
And, we've had different sort of community-led, like, policing efforts. As much as I like the idea of, like, hey, downtown Minneapolis feels safer when there are more people hanging around. Uptown feels safer when there are more people hanging around, walking around. I do worry, like, are we asking residents to do something that the police should be doing or that the city should be providing? Is this a safe thing for you guys to be doing?
That is a great question, and I think we know our lane. We are. This is very, very intentionally not about policing. It's not about keeping the right people in Uptown and the wrong people out. We do have a police department that also is supporting this program. We are not like partnering with them, so to speak, but they support this initiative because the police force is down. We don't have enough numbers of police on the street right now to support the amount of citations that could be happening. That said, we're also trying to strive to be politically agnostic. We just want anybody that wants the same outcome. So we're being very outcome focused. 10 out of 10 people don't want to walk and step over human feces. 10 out of 10 people don't want syringes laying around on the street. 10 out of 10 people want to be comfortable. They want to feel that Uptown is a welcoming place. We want Uptown to be a place that people drive across town to visit. And we believe that if we bring this energy, it's not going to be the silver bullet, just like policies and politics are going to be the silver bullet. You can't police your way to a thriving, positive area that people want to spend time in. But this is one part of the puzzle. But we also do believe that there's a political angle. That is why we also have a letter writing campaign as well.
So the letter writing is designed to get, frankly, the city more engaged in what's going on in Uptown and trying to, I think there's a frustration for many of us that Uptown is it's sort of like, well, too bad. Like you guys have sort of been left where the landlords get blamed, which I think they deserve some of the blame, to be honest. But you can't just blame landlords for not filling their spaces when at the same time you have people shooting up drugs and relieving themselves on the streets. Not that it's 100% this is going on there, but it is part of what's going on there.
Yeah, it is. And I'm very inspired by a lot of the conversations I've had with residents, with elected leaders. There's a lot of positive things afoot in Uptown right now. I believe that we are turning the curve. And I'm not just saying that because I want to believe that. There truly is. Like they just signed the contract for part of the property at 7 Points, the old Calhoun Square. They're filling that. They're building up that apartment complex, which there are other agreements contingent on that. So there are going to be more people living in Uptown. There are some new great businesses that have opened in the last several months that I believe are probably going to be anchors in Uptown for a long time.
You got great, and as you get out of the key sort of former Calhoun Square intersection, right? You have the best bakery in the upper Midwest, right in your neighborhood. You've got
Buns and Coffee. Yep.
Isles, but okay. Well, now we're gonna get in a fight. Now I'm a Black Walnut guy.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Isles Bud is great, but you also have a terrific new coffee shop, 2 new coffee shops right in that area. Munamoto is fantastic. I mean, just lots of great energy. But part of what's happening, and some of the outsiders who miss Filio, you also have to be willing to come along on the ride that Uptown is going to be different. It doesn't need to be a playground for suburbanites necessarily, but it does need to be safe for residents,
Right. And that's what I'm excited about. There's a lot of people that believe that, and they know that. They know that Uptown is unbeatable. Like, the proximity to the lakes, the proximity to downtown. It's an incredible place to live. That's why we moved back here, is we knew we had everything within walking distance. And I think that's what's really exciting about Uptown United right now, is I think that we're on the cusp of something. So anybody getting involved with Uptown United right now will be able to look back and be like, I was part of the rebirth of Uptown. like it's happening right now. Like if I was opening up a business, I would be seriously considering Uptown because it's going to be on the upward swing, and there's some pieces that are falling together right now that it's imminent, and we're excited to be a part of it.
It is easy to get to online if you want to take part, and part of it is just 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Go get a cup of coffee. Go buy tacos. Go to some of these restaurants. Go see a show, that sort of thing. But if you want to formally volunteer, you can go to Uptown United MPLS.org or just Google Uptown United and you'll get right to it. We got to take care of our neighborhoods, and you have to care enough to step up and say, all right, let's try something. So I give you a lot of credit. Kevin Norman, thanks for being with me.
Really appreciate it, Jason. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Go take a walk by the lake. Maybe go decide who's right. Is Kevin right? Is it Isles Bun, or am I right? Is it Blackwall? People are lined up at Blackwall.
Why not
and
both?
at Isles Bun, which is pretty cool.